Hello and welcome to SAFC Fan TV. I'm spending my door there. Am I all right?
Just a little bit high.
All right. I've got a funny noise in my ear. SAFC Fan TV on a Thursday. We are live for the next hour with myself, Philly. We have Jack Dodds. Have you had a good day, Jack?
Oh, marvellous day. Even better to be sat here now.
Oh, good, man. We're joined by Jack Shields. Jack, you had a good day?
It's been all right, yeah, not too bad for Thursday.
Good. And way down south, the man down in London, Jacob. Have you had a good day, mate?
Yeah, decent day, mate. Came back from a run not long ago, but really excited for tonight's show. Lot to talk about.
All right. So you were fully recovered from your bout of COVID, yes?
Yeah, all sorted now. Taste and smell back, everything.
Right, just very quickly, before we go any further, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors who are the One Football app. Lots of different football fans use football apps. This is a great one. And the good news is it is free to download. There is a link in the description below, so make sure you download that. It will keep you up to date on all the latest breaking news from your football club. Of course, when the teams are playing, all the live scores come through there, give you all the information on scorers, assists, and stuff like that. And whatever team you follow, all major teams are featured on there. So make sure you check that out. And it is free, as we said, to download. Just there is a link in the description below. And once again, a massive thank you to One Football for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. We'll start with Tuesday because, on our way to Wembley. Before we go any further, just very quickly, we are live, which means the live chat is available to you if you want to contribute to the show. Just have your say, then use the live chat. First up, as usual, Las Palmas Mackham there, Robert Foster in there, Thane, our friend David Walker, all in the chat already. So Tuesday night, Wigan 0, Sunderland 2. Men against boys, really. How I saw it. Jack Shields, do you want to start us off? Overall performance, you was at the game.
Yeah, I thought we played very well, Phil. I think dominated from start to finish. I can't remember an away game, not for a while, where I was so comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Whereby we had the ball so much, we created so many chances, and the result was never really in threat. Even at 1-0, when we got that first goal, I was confident we were going to go on and win the game. I think we played on the front foot, which was nice to see, because there's been quite a bit of criticism of Sunderland, particularly even from myself on Saturday's performance at Fleetwood, where we kind of sat back a little bit, didn't we, when we got in front. Whereas even when we're 1-0 up, even 2-0 up, we're still going forward, still trying to create chances, still trying to kill the game off. And I think it was good. I've harped on about it a bit, but good to show the strength and depth that we've had from the squad. We saw quite a few fringe players coming into it, the likes of Broadhead and one or two others, and they came in and did the chances of getting in the first team no good. And I think it shows now we've got a lot of options going forward. So if we did get injuries or fitness issues, suspensions, things like that later on in the season, we've got players to come in that are of a high enough calibre to keep up and keep the form that we've got going. So yeah, excellent, good night all round really.
Yeah, I mean, we did say on the Sunday bunch, we thought Wigan were going to put a really strong team out and use it sort of psychologically to beat us, for when we meet in the league and stuff like that. But we went there and they played their sort of second 11, and they were nothing like ours. Just very quickly, shout out to Matthew Lead is on the chat as well. Hi to Matthew. Of course, he's part of the Fans React YouTube channel. Make sure you check them out. Go and subscribe to them. Great channel, doing great Sunderland content as well. Mandy Gray on there as well. David Jopling. Jacob, you wasn't at the game. Have you seen the highlights of it? What did you think?
Yeah, watched back the 10-minute extended highlights on the club website. Very good performance. And obviously, we touched on there. Wigan didn't really offer that much with them putting their second team out, but technically we put our second team out as well, and we got the job done comfortably. Great. We also kept a clean sheet as well. I think we need that as a confidence boost. It'd be nice to take that into the league. very soon. But on an attacking point of view, absolutely superb. You know, Nathan Broadhead, I like to see him a lot more in the league games. I mean, I know he's coming on for like 10, 15-minute spells at the moment, but to be honest, bring him on earlier to try and see out the game. You know, he's just got so much pace in the final third. And I think what summed up that fantastic run that Daniel Sirkin did from his own half, that was tremendous to see, where he took that shot on and the keeper tipped it over the bar. Just, I think that's players who have got a lot of confidence at the moment, but also are willing to prove a point to this manager, saying, hey, I should be starting league games now. And it's got Lee Johnson facing a massive selection dilemma going into the league games we've got coming up: Bolton on Saturday and Cheltenham on Tuesday. But it's not a bad problem to have. Fantastic performances all round. Team full of confidence. You can't ask for anything more. But bring on round 4 and a trip to Loftus Road.
Yeah, fair enough. I get what you're saying with Sirkin. I think Sirkin's coming into his own. He's starting to look like a very good player. And like you said, that run and that shot, just tremendous. Just very quickly, back to the chat there. Got to give a shout out to Colin Major. He's a member down there. Tony Lee, friend of the show, says evening. I can't see evening clap and the lads, whatever that's supposed to mean. So Jack, you was down at Wigan. We bumped into you. Obviously, you was in a pub having a drink, as you normally do, and then you was acting yourself, trying to start all sorts of songs off about Sunderland fans being on a bender or something, and all that was all about. Jack, what did you think overall?
Yeah, a good night and a really strong performance. Probably nothing that Jacob and Jack haven't already said, really. Control the game impeccably. I don't think Wigan ever really looked like they were going to get into it, and it was clear that our kind of second best 11 almost was probably better than theirs, really. And I think coming out of the game, there's a lot of players now that are going to be screaming for first team starts. I mean, one player that impressed me, I don't think he's not been mentioned yet, in particular, was Niall Huggins. I don't think he had a brilliant debut against Blackpool, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant, probably man of the match for me against Wigan. Certainly, I've mentioned that run and the shot he had. The last few games, he's really seriously upped his game. I think he's really improved just even the last 3 or 4 weeks. Broadhead, great goal, good overall performance as well. The likes of Pritchard coming in, doing a good job. Corey Evans. Basically, players who've barely had an opportunity all season. There was a couple, I think 09 and Circle, who've been playing a lot recently, but that 11 was mainly players who've not been playing a lot in recent weeks. And I think it just shows that if the first team starts to drop off, or if we get any injuries or suspensions, Johnson's got players there who really want to come in, and I think who are capable of coming in and replacing the lads we've got good enough. So we're in a really good position, and glad about the 4th round draw as well. Another nice competitive, hopefully winnable game.
Right, I'll bring you in just now, Jacob. I see you trying to get in. I just want to give a shout out to Terry. The Mad Mistake is in the chat there. Terry would have been on tonight as well, but he's not too well. He's coughing a lot, and he's got a fan in Marianne Trolls saying, "Poor Terry, so poorly." Shout out to Hugo as well in Portugal. He says hi to the guys. Jacob, you want in there?
Yeah, one man we haven't mentioned also is Leon Dejaku. He looked an absolute baller on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does in the coming weeks as well.
Sorry, Jacob, can I stop you there, because I've got a bit I want to do on him. So we'll come to that, and then you can later in the show. We'll do that. Don't forget, of course, we got 41 likes already. We're trying it to 100 likes if we can on a Thursday. So just hit that thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that. 112 people on the stream so far. So, like we said, we played the fringe players Tuesday night. Good, solid performance. I mean, Jack, Jack Shields, you touched on it, how comfortable it was. You know, they just didn't threaten us at all. So, how good is this squad we've got? Is this going to be what is going to get us promoted? Like later on in the season, where first team players get injured. I mean, you know, there's Wigan's second team. When they start getting injuries, that's what they're going to bring in. Whereas our squad, and is that what's going to get us up, Jack Dodds?
Well, I think we've seen in League One that like form really is like it changes quite a lot, and I think we've seen where there's like even the first season in League One, there was teams that were top of the league for a period of time. I think it was Portsmouth for ages, then it was Peterborough, or the other way around, then it ended up being Luton. But form changes all the time in League One, I think, more than most other leagues. And it's a long, tough, hard season. It's a physical league. It's easy to pick up injuries, and there's 46 games in the league, and that's even without the cups to get in there as well. So you're always going to get, you can't play a 46 league game season, especially in League One, with how tough and physical it is, without, I think, picking up lots of injuries just through, exhaustion and tough tackles, and suspensions as well, because the amount of games and the amount of tired legs, like lazy tackles in the last few minutes, you're going to pick up a lot of suspensions, a lot of injuries, and form does change a lot as well. And I think it's probably more important than we've maybe realised about how just how important it is to have good players to come in here and there. And I think we've seen really that, we literally changed we brought in, I think, nine players who wouldn't ordinary play, Cirkin and 09 being the two. Who
I think it was 8 changes he made, wasn't it?
That was Bailey Wright, and I think Flanagan would have been there ordinarily.
Yeah, right.
So I would say that's 9 players who aren't necessarily first ones, and I think every single one of them has probably got a right to start at the weekend, excluding maybe Diaku. I know Jacob, you said that you thought he had a good game. I don't think he was good enough to maybe warrant the start yet, but I think just about everyone who played, warrants a chance of getting in.
Right, just very quickly on the chat again. John Treborian says our squad consists of 2 first teams, which is a pretty good assessment, really. You Big Dosser says, where's Big Bowers at? Michael doesn't like coming on a Thursday when we do it remotely because of his internet connection. But Michael's normally on the Sunday brunch when we do it from the studio, so you can catch him then. I also want to give a shout out to Johnny Cool, who's on the chat as well. It's always great when we're out and about and we actually meet people who watch the channel and stuff like that. And Johnny Cool came up at halftime and introduced himself, said, "I'm Johnny Cool." And so we sang his Johnny Cool song to him and all that. But so hi to Johnny Cool. Thanks for coming over and saying hi at halftime down at Wigan. Jacob, then, is the strength of this squad going to be what's going to carry us over the line?
Yeah, I mean, it has to. Then again, I think, especially when you're a side down in League One, you need luck in terms of injuries being on your side as well. But I think when you've got the confidence we have right now, I still personally think it's still too early to call. But I think if you take one game at a time, go with that attitude, then there's no reason why you can't have that as an ambition, towards the end of the season. I would say in the 4 seasons we've had down in this division, this definitely looks like the strongest squad we've had, and the strongest squad that's in depth as well. Just so many options to pick from, and it's exciting. It's just such a shame that I'm working on Saturday and won't be able to make it to the Stadium of Light, because people are going to be turning up, smiles on their face and just excited to see players who are banging confidence and banging form and are looking to get 3 points, which will be a tough game. Obviously, we'll come on to Bolton a little bit later on in the show, but just all happy days right now. And who knows how far can we go in the League Cup as well. The fact that we're got a decent tie against QPR with our second team, more or less, just shows the confidence that we're having right now. And it's just all happy days. I'm just buzzing, to be honest.
Right, yeah. Jack, the squad's what's going to see us up to promotion? Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm looking at it now, just touching on what the lads have already said. Really, it looks like
there's a lot of touching going on tonight, mind.
No, I just think we've got not only have we got strength and depth, though. I think Lee Johnson's done a very good job, and the recruitment team have done a very good job of identifying, weaknesses in our squad. So, in my opinion, under Jack Ross to a certain extent, but massively so under Phil Parkinson, we had a real lack of pace, a lack of athleticism, a lack of energy in the team. watching Sunderland at times last season, you know, in the season before, the back end of the other season when we had Phil Parkinson. It was like, you know, the walking football adverts with the Barclays. Have you ever seen those where it's a load of old men playing football? Nobody's allowed to run.
I've seen
No one's allowed to go quickly. That's what it used to remind me of Sunderland sometimes. And I think I've said for years, you don't have to be necessarily a brilliant football team to get out of this league, but I think you do have to have players that have got a bit of pace, a bit of athleticism, and players that can carry the ball. So I think Lee Johnson's done a really good job. And let's give him a bit of credit here. He hasn't even been here a year. What did he take charge last November? Early December, was it time? Seems like it was about 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas. In less than a year, he seems to have identified a lot of things that were missing in previous squads in terms of attributes. So it is, as Jacob says, it is very early days. We're still in September. I'm certainly not going to be saying we're going up, or, you know, I know there's a thing going around HMS Pistol League type thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereby it's like we're going to coast it. I think that's more tongue in cheek, but I am more confident than I have been in the previous seasons. And I think if we can keep this winning run going now, nobody in this league will fancy playing Sunderland the way we're playing at the minute. You know what I mean? Even if it's, you know, Bolton on Saturday or Portsmouth away next Saturday, teams will be looking and think, "Oh Christ, we've got Sunderland are on an absolute roll at the minute. They just won't fancy us." And we've got to look at that and think that's something we can use to our advantage, really, and play with a swagger and a bit of confidence.
Fair enough. Young Jack, you was one in there.
Yeah, just on Jack talking about the the energy almost that we've picked up in the side since last season. I don't think there's any other position in the team that quite sums that up. Like fullback, if you go back to last season, who were playing at fullback, it was like Max Power on one side and McFadzean on the other. For a large part, two players who slow, sluggish, not really got much going forward, not good defensively. You look at the lads we've got there now, Winchester and Huggins on the right. Huggins showed last night. I think he can really step up. Winchester's been brilliant. You know, they've got so much energy going forward, good on the ball, able to actually get right into the final third, like Huggins did to set 09 up. And then on the left, I know Hume's getting his fitness back up after he's re-signed, and Serkin as well, who, you know, that's time I know we've mentioned it before, when he just burst forward, beat a few players, ran, you know, cut across the middle of the pitch and struck off the edge of the box. When would you ever get a fullback last season or the last few years who've had doing things like the likes of Conor McLaughlin? And I'm not trying to necessarily criticise these lads as individuals. I'm just saying, when you compare what we've got now, I don't think there's any other position that quite sums up the shift in mentality than fullback, because we just seem to be so much energetic, and the players are just able to get up and down and do so much, I think, now from those positions.
Fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat, David says, what we're talking, lads, big club, and we've stepped up. It's our time with good management. Las Palmas Mackham says, this season reminds me of the championship season after we missed out at Wembley against Charlton. That season, our second team would beat most of the league. Shoggy, we're going to get onto that question shortly. The casual observer says Jack Dodd sporting the Teddy Boy bouffant. Is he also wearing his Beetle Crushers? Casual observer, mate. I'm pretty sure young Jack won't even know what Beetle Crushers are, but at his age. But we'll explain to him later. Johnny Cool says best squad we have is it's all down to KLD. And somewhere on here, DJ Sizzle Watson says, Philly, can we have a poll for the best commentator as he's dropping the trophy off on Saturday? DJ Sizzle Watson has made a trophy with the best SAFC Fan TV commentator, which is going to drop in the week, Chief. So we've got to award that to one of you lads, which we'll do towards the end of the season. Jacob, why have you got your finger up? It won't be you.
Congratulations on that. No, I was just going to say, I forgot what I was going to say now. That's
my job.
That's fortunate. It would have been rubbish anyway.
Cheers, Dodsy. Yeah.
Right. All right then. Just Diaku. I mean, he was the one player I was really wanting to see. So thoughts on him overall, and from what you saw, you know, does he warrant a start, Jacob?
I'm excited to see what he can produce over this as the season goes along. I think he has got unbelievable talent. He's got a lot of quality he can offer in the final third. I think the only thing, this is where I agree with Jack a little bit. I think the only thing that lets him down right now, I still think he's regaining his fitness, because from what I've heard, I don't think he had much of a pre-season. I think just a few bits in terms of decision making on Tuesday night let him down. I mean, I think there was that moment where he was through on goal and his touch let him down and he had to square it. I mean, we should have got a pen for that at the end of the day. But yeah, I think he offers a lot of pace. I think he can be an attacking threat. I think where he'll play, if we're sticking with this 4-2-3-1 that we're going with, I think he'll be on the right-hand side where Lyndon Gooch plays. That's if he does start, of course. I think he'll be in competition with Lyndon Gooch over the next few weeks. But I have faith when he's up to full fitness, he can replace Gooch in the side, because I think if he shows these bursts of talent like he is, on a good day, his final ball will be terrific, and his decision-making in terms of when to make the right runs in the final third when the ball's played forward will be second to none. Yeah. What's that, Jack?
You've got the what?
The what?
The runs.
You got the runs.
No.
There's a tumbleweed there.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
But yeah, very excited to see him over the next few weeks. Really good player.
Sorry, everyone. That was a terrible joke.
Yeah, it was. Robin Foster says a 1 million circuit is looking like a bargain. Young Jack Diaku, then did he impress you on the time he played?
Not particularly, no, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really want to dig that out too much. I mean, like you say, I didn't hear of this not having a pre-season, so that could be a factor. I'm unaware if he did or he didn't. But if someone's seen he hasn't had much of a pre-season, that's obviously going to affect you. Of course, he's a foreign lad. He's probably never played a game of football in England in his life. I wouldn't suspect anyway. He's coming to a new country, it's like, I know it was in the cup, but it was 2 League One teams playing each other on a Tuesday night, loads of different things that are going to impact his game. So I'm not going to have a go at that. It's going to take him time to settle in and stuff. And how many players have we seen, I think, under Johnson who've came in, not looked brilliant and improved. But I think if you're going off his performance on Tuesday alone, I think, don't get us wrong, the intent was definitely there. He was really trying, he was really getting involved. He was trying to create things and stuff, but I think he just slowed the game down a little bit. There was that time he was running through on goal and he messed that up, but I think he would know that himself, and I think he'd have been annoyed at himself there. But there was a couple of other times I think where we were getting forward and there was a pass to be played or maybe a play to be taken on. He just looked a little bit hesitant, or a touch was just a little bit heavy and it slowed us down. So I don't think he was brilliant, but it's his first game. He's a foreign lad. It's going to take him time to get used to playing in this country, playing with the team we've got, getting used to Lee Johnson and stuff, and hopefully in a few weeks' time, he's playing in the first team and doing brilliantly.
Fair enough. It's a classic of watching the same game and having different opinions, because I thought I was quite impressed with him. Now, whether or not I've been sort of swayed because I've been wanting to see him and believe in the hype, but I didn't think he had a bad game, so I'm surprised at what he's saying. Jack Diaku, overall thoughts on him?
I thought in flashes, in spells, he was really, really good the other night. He made 2 or 3 good runs in behind. I think his pace will count for a lot of this level. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you're going to get many League One defenders are going to be able to catch up with him when he's running in behind, particularly teams that want to press us. I think the idea that teams press us is good from their point of view, because the press us high up the pitch. But if the press us and we can beat the press and get in behind, it leaves a lot of space in behind for quick players like a Broadhead the other night, like a Dijaku. So I think he might come into it from making runs in behind. If a team's playing a high line, I don't think you're going to get many defenders catching him. And I think on the ball, he looks like he's quick and tricky. He can go right, he can go left. He looks like his end product wasn't the best the other night. I will agree. I think he can work on that. And I still don't think he's fully up to fitness. I think you've got spells whereby he was going at it good for 5 or 10 minutes, having a good spell. And then in the game, I saw him drift off a little bit. He wasn't really involved. I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to be diving and flying into tackles. I think he's going to be someone who's on the ball creating stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I hope the Sunderland fans do stick with him. If he's not really having the best of games, Sunderland fans can be digging players out who they think aren't really putting a shift in. So I hope they realise that's not really his game. But I think the calibre he showed in spells that he showed the other night, I think he's going to be a real asset for us. And I think in terms of Lyndon Gooch, I think we know what Gooch is all about at this level, and some fans will say not much. Do you know what I mean? So why not give this lad a run of games when he is up to fitness, hopefully sooner rather than later, and see what it can do.
Yeah, fair enough. Just very quickly, Minnie Brook says, "Where's Dino?" Dino is asleep. He works a night shift, so he's in bed at the moment. David Jones says biggest test of the season on Saturday for Sunderland. Bolton, best away team in this league, plays superb football. He's going for a 3-2 Bolton win, but then edging his bet saying if not 2-2. I want to say a massive thank you to DJ Sizzler Watson, who's bought a super sticker for £2, which donates money to our channel. A round of applause for DJ Sizzler Watson. Thank you very much to you for that. Don't forget, you can donate towards the channel. The super chat is available, and all money is gratefully accepted. Does help us run this channel. It still doesn't make a profit, this channel. It still costs us to put this on, and so all donations are gratefully accepted. Right then, a couple of things. Of course, there was the annoying Wigan drum, and I've got to say, the Wigan fans. I mean, I'm not going to ask you any questions on this. I just wanted to bring it up. But when we did the fan cam interviews afterwards, I've never met a bunch of more annoying little than the Wigan fans. What a nightmare! I know fans react when they were doing their interviews. They had a nightmare with them as well, as did we. But what a bunch of little whatever.
Very nice. They're your own fan base, man.
Yeah, well, they were a bunch. So right, okay then. I'll take a man of the match from you from Tuesday, and I'd like to know, is any of that team then what we played? Obviously, what came in deserve a start. Should Lee Johnson be putting them in the team on Saturday? Young Jack?
I'd say Huggins for my man of the match. As for players who've got a chance of coming on Saturday, I'd like to see Gooch dropped, and I think I'd like to see Broadhead put out on the right-hand side or on the left and shift McGeady over. It's a shame because I think some of the lads who played really well in particular are probably in positions where we're quite strong anyway. I doubt Huggins. I thought Huggins, like I say, I thought he was the best player on the pitch, but I doubt he'd get in above Winchester. So yeah, I'd say Broadhead could come in for Gooch, but Huggins is my man of the match.
Right, fair enough. Jack?
I would say Huggins. I would agree with Jack. I thought Huggins had an excellent game. I don't think he put a foot wrong all game, to be honest. In terms of who I think should be in and around the team, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Luke O'Nien maybe given a rest. I think his shoulder's struggling, so maybe see if we can get someone in there. I don't know who you would replace him with, but maybe see if you can bring one or two of them types of players in, and obviously long term Dejako in for Gooch whenever he's fit.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Jacob?
Yes, I agree with Jack. If O'Nien has the same problem with his shoulder, potentially Pritchard. From what I saw on Tuesday, he looked really good. I think he's a player that can. Obviously, he's got experience with him being 28 and coming from a higher division, but I think on his day with his set piece capability as well, I think he could do a job in games. But Huggins definitely.
Hang on, whoa! Who?
Huggins or Huggins.
All right, that'll do.
However you want to pronounce it. Yeah, he could do a job at fullback as well. But then again, would Lee Johnson want to drop Carl Winchester with the form he's in right now? I'm not so sure. Yeah,
but could you not move Carl Winchester up and then put Huggins at the back? You could, Winchester's not, not a right back, so you could actually move him up, couldn't you? And you could put Huggins in there. I've got Huggins down as my man of the match on Tuesday. Jack, you want in?
I was about to suggest that. Could you not move? Can you hear those dogs, by the way, Barton?
We can. It's is that your new girlfriend?
No, it's not. No, it's Karen.
Tortured there, like.
No, I was thinking that as well. Could you move Winchester up in the midfield? But then do you think him and Evans would be a little bit flat together? With them both, maybe he's not been quite as energetic as Neil.
He's been getting forward quite a bit recently. He's got 2 goals already, hasn't he? I think that might work, to be honest. Winchester in the middle and then Huggins at right back. I think you could decent show.
I wouldn't mind that. I just, would it be a little bit like a situation where you have like the 2 holding midfielders, both of which you want like particularly quick. I think as much as Winchester gets forward, he's energetic. He's not rapid, and I think Evans is quite a slow player as well. Maybe it's Neil in the centre with one of them.
Just nice to have options, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, just I mean, this is it. This is the difference, and like I said, it's been a lot of years for me since a Sunderland team has had strength in depth. Players that can come in and cover certain positions. Right, just very quickly, I need to give a shout out to Johnny Cool once again. Like we said, it was nice to meet you, Johnny, down in Wigan, and he's purchased a super sticker for £2. Thank you very much to Johnny Cool. Well done. To that. That will help us with the channel. 65 likes we have at the moment, 139 people on the live stream. So if you want to just hit the thumbs up, it's free to do that. We'd like to try and hit 100 if we can. Now, just very quickly, while I pop off and blow my nose, we've got the Philly clone to just speak to you for 30 seconds. SAFC Fan TV would like to thank our sponsors, OneFootball. This is a superb football app that every football fan should have. Keep up to date with all the players' stats and, of course, any injuries that you may have in your squad. You can check out the opposition, the team you're playing that coming week, and find out who their danger men are. To download this app, there is a link in the description below. Download it now. And thanks once again to OneFootball for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. Thanks, Phil. Just very quickly, the casual observer on the chat says, Dino's been asleep since Sunday. He still hasn't recovered from his lung-busting burst forward and put one of the lights out with his shot. Dino's not a bad player. He's just, he was just a little bit unfit, that's all. So, as opposed
easy for you to say, the man who got on the pitch rode 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, well, hey, listen, I shouldn't have even got on the pitch at all, to be honest, if I'm if I'm being honest with you. By the way, that we are referring to Sunday's game where SAFC Fan TV played Newcastle Fans TV. If you haven't seen the highlights yet, they are on our channel. Just check them out. Try not to laugh at me like my wife did every time I got the ball. Right, okay, so we're through at the next round of the Cup. We've drawn QPR away from home. Jacob's over the moon because it's a local fixture for him. A lot of people were wanting a Premier League club. So, Jack Shields, are you happy with QPR?
No, not in the slightest happy, to be honest, Phil. I think in terms of me, personally, selfishly, I'm the complete opposite to Jacob. I wanted a northern team away from home or even a home tie. So for me, that's a no-go, unfortunately. And it just didn't really get the appetite going. Do you know what I mean? I thought Blackpool, when we got them, it was like, oh, well, get a day out of Blackpool. And Wigan, there was a bit of needle there, and it was a good chance to test ourselves. I suppose there's a good chance to test ourselves against QPR because they're in the league above the Championship. But it's just one of them. I'm like, it's a ground we don't really do well at Loftus Road. I can't remember us really doing particularly too well there. And it's just, probably would have been very, very low on my list of who I would like. And I know I'm not saying lose the game, but I'm not really too interested in the match at the minute, like the way that it is. I'm like putting to the back of my mind. Yeah,
right, fair enough. Matthew Lead. Matthew says, good for me and Jacob, the Londoners. Of course, funny enough, Matthew, we was talking about you in our chat last night, saying that we'll all go down and we'll all just crash at Matthew's house, and we'll do it like that. But we didn't ask you, but we will do.
Or just turn up, put it on.
Yes,
Jack will be turning up at mine. It's I guarantee it.
Yeah, Jack, I've got to agree with you. I mean, it did, it didn't float my boat when it came out. I was hoping for either a home tie or, I wouldn't have minded, I was looking for, Leeds away, Liverpool away, something like that, or one of them at home. Like I said, northern team. It's almost caused the divorce when I said to Karen that, we can go on another road trip to London. So whether or not, I don't know, I've not thought about it. It doesn't excite me. Jacob, you'll have a little excitement in your underpants over that one, will you?
No comment on that front, Philly. No comment on that front. By the way, Matthew, cheers for that comment, mate. That's absolutely delightful. By the way, Loftus Road, from what what Matthew has told me is direct on the central line to where Matthew lives. So yeah, easy direct.
All right, well, we'll get his address and then we'll go down. We're all on the central line. Then a few beers, then back to Matthew's for a party. That sounds all right.
If we go through, that's of course. Yeah, Delight Loftus Road. The ground could do with a bit of work. Like it's one of those proper old school ones, but atmosphere wise, terrific. I remember going there back in, I think it's just before Christmas in 2011, a 3-2 win. Wes Brown scoring a last-minute header. Almost fell out the stand that night. It was absolutely brilliant celebrating that. But our record since then has not been the best. I think we haven't won there since that day. So, but records are there to be broken, and QPR are a completely different team from what they were from when we've previously played them at Loftus Road. So yeah, it should be a good evening. I fancy our chances. I think if we get at them early doors, we can make a difference, and it'll be a good test to see how far these players can go in terms of wanting to push themselves and be against championship opposition. A good test for the future. And yeah, coming up against a striker like Charlie Austin as well. Hopefully we can keep him quiet on the night, but it's a long way to go till that game. But yeah, delighted we've got a London draw. Good for me and Matthew.
Right, fair enough. Matthew Lead makes the comment, yeah, notice no one wants to stay at Jacobs. Yeah, QPR, I mean, I've done 60 odd grounds in my time because I'm old, but QPR's a ground I've
not
never
just 60 odd grounds.
Yeah, well, there you go. But yeah, QPR is one of the grounds I've actually not been to, so it'd be nice to tick that one off the list until I read further down in the chat. And my wife says, "You're not going to QPR, Phil?"
Like a romantic midweek trip away.
You'll be getting put in your place.
Yeah, I will be. So maybe
down,
maybe I won't be ticking QPR off my list then, because we all know who the boss is in this family. Get me tea sorted now.
QPR.
What, young Jack, QPR, did it excite you?
I mean, apart from the fact I'm a bit disappointed at the fact it's probably one that I can't make, I'm actually quite pleased with the draw. I mean, I like how in the Cup you get to give the lads who wouldn't ordinarily be playing week in, week out a run out. I mean, Tuesday night will have done the world of good to the likes of Huggins and Pritchard and Broadhead and O'Brien, who haven't been getting a lot of minutes recently. You know, lads who either came in or were here at the start of the season and haven't had a lot of time this season. It means if we get an injury or a suspension that comes straight in, you know, they're fit enough or, you know, at least they're going to be fitter than they would have been anyway. And I think, you know, it's a good chance to progress another game and get another game, another 90 minutes under the belt. I mean, as well, I'm looking at the Championship League table. I think excluding Preston, who is still left, I believe we've got the lowest ranked side we could have got, excluding Preston, of course, in QPR. So it should be a decent opportunity to win the game. I know a lot of people wanted someone like Liverpool or City, but I think as long as there's teams left who are still in and around us, which I would consider QPR in the Championship is still a team that we're going to have a relatively competitive game against. I'd rather have a team like that where it should be a relatively close game, good minutes, like I say, for the more fringe players, and a decent chance of progressing the next round. And then if you get to that round and you get Liverpool or City or someone like that, you know, you have a big doubt and you get knocked out, you get tonked, fair enough. But no, I'm quite pleased that, to be honest, it should be another close competitive game, good chance to get all those lads who would normally just be on the bench or on the reserves some minutes in case we need them, keep them fit, and hopefully, it's still a decent chance. I think one of the better chances we're going to have to get it in the next round.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you're right. I think we've got a good chance of progressing, and even if I mean, I know teams in this competition tend to give fringe players a run out, but I think even if QPR, played their first team, I think the way we are gelling together and playing, I still think we would, we would still have a fairly decent chance against them. Just very quickly on the chat, Matthew says, good memories at QPR winning 3-2. Wes Brown scoring the winner, which I believe Jacob nearly fell out of the stand.
Yeah.
When that happened. Mandy Gray says, QPR only an hour from me. So I don't know if that's an invite that we can all go around and stay at Mandy Gray's house as well. possibly. But there's loads of options
It's going
coming.
to be like a pub crawl, this going from one to the other.
It's going to be all right. So that could be all right. So Karen, we could be all right. We could still be going down there. Who knows? But she's the boss, as we know. Right. What I quickly want to mention is bit of. I'll tell you what. Before we do, we've got 78 likes. We do like to hit 100 if we can on a Thursday night. 137 people on the live chat. So if you just hit the thumbs up, take your second to do that. If you're watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat on, just close the live chat. You'll see the thumbs up. Just smash that. Let's get that to 100. And don't forget, of course, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's free to do so, and it does help the channel out when you do that. Information coming out of the club today. We've mentioned a few times about the club shop not being open. The last conversation we had about this, Terry mentioned that there was a sign on the door saying that it was closed for a refurbishment, and so that being the reason why. It's been announced today that the club shop will actually be open this Saturday. So why the game's on, and it will be open Tuesday because we're playing midweek as well. And then from the 8th of October, it's going to be, as per the ticket office, it's going to open a day before the game and on the day of the game. So if it's a Tuesday game, it'll be open on a Monday and a Tuesday. If it's a Saturday game, it'll be open on a Friday and a Saturday. If there's only one game that week, then it only opens the 2 days instead of the 4 days. So why is that then? Why do you think they're only going to open it like that? Is it a case of penny pinching? Can they not get staff? After people are struggling to get staff after the pandemic. Young Jack, what do you think?
Could be, cutting a corner, cost cutting. It's salaries that need to be paid. It's maintenance of the ticket office. So if it's open for less hours in a week, it's going to be cheaper for the club. So I think it could be that. I think it could also be to encourage fans to go via the digital route. But I don't think the ticket office being open, probably about 1 or 2 days a week is sufficient. I mean, I was trying to get a Portsmouth ticket sorted, and I was having a right faff on with Ticketmaster. It wasn't seeming to be working properly. So I went over to the ticket office later in the day when I could to find out it was shut and only going to be open on a Friday and Saturday of that week. Now, I managed to get myself back on and sort it out and get my ticket all paid for and stuff. But I'm 18 and I've grown up with the internet. It's been about more or less since I was born, I think. I've grown up using technology, so I know my way around. I know a lot of people, older people who don't even own a phone or a laptop or an iPad, who, if they want to get a ticket for a game, especially one like Portsmouth, an away game where you've got loyalty points and stuff like that to consider, they're going to want to get the ticket on a certain day. They're going to struggle, if they can't go over the ticket office and get it. So, I mean, it's a positive. It's going to be open more than it has been. But I don't think it's sufficient enough, man. I don't think it's good enough. I think the ticket office needs to be open more because there's a lot of people who cannot operate this Ticketmaster stuff and the online who don't even have internet access. So I don't think it's good enough, mate.
See, I don't buy the the saving money thing, because at the end of the day, you staff it accordingly. So if there are quiet days, if it turns out a Wednesday afternoon's quiet, you put less staff in. I think the profits they must make on the shirts, must be massive. So surely, you will make more money having it open and paying your staff, right? Because the margins, like I say, on these shirts will be made out in China, and the massive profits on it. So that's how I say it. Jacob, your thoughts on it opening as it's going to? Reasons why?
Well, you made a very good point there. I think potentially what's happened with the club is they've had to lay off a lot of staff, coming off the back of what's happened with the COVID lockdowns and a lot of companies struggling financially. That could be a big factor why it's not been open the past couple of weeks. But I think if the rumours are true that it's been reopened and they're refurbishing it inside, giving it a different layout, I think that could be to do obviously with the club being cashless now. I think they'll want to design it in a way how fans can go in and get their shirts or whatever merchandise they want to buy really quickly on a match day. So design it as like self-checkout sort of thing where they won't need much staff on the till, so they can use a bit like when you go shopping at Tesco's, how they've got the checkout machines and you just do the scanning and then quickly you're away. It could be that front, but who knows? I mean, it'll be all revealed on Saturday. Hopefully, I have trust that the club has done a good job on that front if they're refurbishing it. But I think questions still do need to be answered from inside the club, why it's been closed for so long. And what Jack said about the ticket office, I completely agree. You know, I know a couple of fans who their grandparents go Sunderland home and away, and when it comes to technology, they struggle at accessing it and using it at the same time, and they do need help from their extended family to get tickets for match days. And and all they know is just going into the ticket office and buying, and with that taken away, it's going to be a struggle for them. So hopefully the likes of Steve Davison and people inside the club listen to those important points being made.
Right, fair enough, Jacob. But just very quickly, Robert Foster on the chat says it could be because nobody comes during the week. May not be viable to open. What I will say is if ever I do go to the club shop to buy anything, I go in those off periods, and there's always someone in the shop.
Yeah, great.
But,
Mr. Debenham's store in town.
No, this is the club shop. The club shop at the ground now, and the thing is, you know, I accept that it's going to be quieter than on a match day or coming up to a weekend, but you staff it accordingly. And surely just sticking 2 staff in there, you know, you're going to make more money, you know, by paying those staff and being there to sell more products than not. So I don't see it. I don't see why it is this. For me, the only viable reason for them doing this is if they have struggled to get staff, as other industries have because of COVID. Jack, young Jack, I know you're wanting, but we'll go to Jack first, get his point on this, and then you can come in on that.
Yeah, I agree with what's been said, but I think one of the most frustrating things for me, strange things for me, was I don't think enough's done to encourage people to actually go to the club shop. I think the position in the club shop, the stadium where it was put, I don't think it was a brilliant position, because it's out the way slightly, unless you have to specifically make a point of going, and you're not going to get someone who's just going in and thinking, oh, well, there's a club shop. They're going in by chance, you know what I mean? Just because it's there. So I don't think that helps. But I agree with the ticket office point as well. I don't think any harm's done in keeping 1 or 2 people in. Even if you don't have to have the whole of the ticket office open, maybe even just a small section of the ticket office or some alternative whereby you've got somebody that you can speak to. I know people yesterday, what happened with one of my friends yesterday, he didn't get his ticket through till late, so he's ringing up Tuesday, before he was trying to get his ticket for the Wigan game. And he didn't have a ticket going down. No, we managed to get it sorted out, but it was a bit of a panic on, because he was worried that he was going to travel down without a ticket. Now, we worked it out on the way down. We had to go to the Wigan ticket office and get tickets, but it would have just been a lot easier if they'd had a couple of people on the ticket office, and we could have just rang and said, yeah, come and get it. He was off on the day. Come and get it. So, cut your cloth accordingly. Don't have, people sitting doing nothing in a massive building or in the shop. Like you say, Phil, maybe let people go home or staff it accordingly. But there should still be some option there for fans, even if it's, have a porta cabin or something with ticket office in. I don't know what the solution is, but have something, even if it's a smallest kind of scaled down version of it, whereby you can have the ticket office open and the club shop open as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Jacob, I know you want in. I'm going to bring young Jack in first, then we'll go to you. Very quickly on the chat, though. Matthew says, should open a shop in the town centre. Yes, Debenhams that closed down. However, I would imagine opening a shop in the town centre, the overheads will be a lot bigger than, they've got the premises there at the ground. If they're opening in the town centre, then they're going to have, rent and rates and all sorts of extra added costs. What they're going to, what they're going to have to pay there. Young Jack, and then we'll go to you, Jacob.
Yeah, just really quickly on what you were saying about the ticket office. I just the club shop, Phil. I'd like to second that. I like to pop over, I quite like getting the retro shirts, so I'll pop over here and there and get one of them. And I never go on a match day, you know, because I don't like the massive queues and the panicking, and I don't want to get into the game. So I'll always go, you know, on an off day, midweek, something like that. And there's always still people in. That club shop is never ever dead.
Yeah,
it's never quite enough to the point where you would have no one in. Fair enough, you maybe only have 1 or 2 staff members in, but there's always customers in there buying stuff. So I almost feel as if they're chucking money away by not being open at all.
Yeah, totally agree. Jacob, you're one in there.
Yeah, building on what Matthew was saying in the chat just now, and also what you said, Philly, about they should open a club shop in town. When they had the one in the Debenham store in Bridges, I actually used that one more rather than the club shop itself, particularly with it being close to the train station. If I wanted to grab something to take back down south with me, it's not far from the station at all. But then again, I think the club, what you said, Philly, I think having the licenses, you know, to open a club shop in the town centre now, I think will be a lot more difficult, and it would just be more beneficial to have, attract more people to the one at the stadium instead. But they need to get it right, whatever changes they're making, because it is a bit under the water right now. And we were touching on that, whether there could be like still marketing problems within the club, attracting people to the club shop and getting more sales go. Because I think personally, this is a bold state, I think the away kit we've got this season is absolutely terrific. And I think with the right campaign and the right messages put out, people will be looking to buy that kit straight away. But what Jack was saying, I think it's a new direction with football clubs now, and the fans, they tend to go more for retro shirts because it's a new style now and it's more of a trend, and people feel that they can sell on retro shirts as well more easily, and they're just more unique to wear on a match day rather than the kit, which the kit in the current season now, because obviously they'll be overpriced more.
To be honest, Jacob, I just think they're nicer. I don't like the newer design of the kits. I think the old ones are much nicer.
Right, just the bottom line of it is, for me, it's just not good business sense. Simple as that. You know, and that goes with the ticket office. You're making it harder to sell your product. You know, you should be making it as easy as possible for people to get their hands on tickets as you can. As with your merchandise, should be exactly the same. And you know, it's strange because it just doesn't make good business sense. Just very quickly, shout out to Joe 11 on the chat, who's a Bolton fan. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome all fans from all different clubs on this channel. So thanks for that. He says, game on, lads. Tony Lee then asks a question to him, says, how many tickets have Bolton sold? So Joe, if you do know that, stick it in the chat. We'd be interested to know that. And also
the season, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, I would have thought so. I mean, I was going to get onto that anyway, because Joe, we are going to go on to the Bolton game now, so that should keep you interested, hopefully. And also, my wife mentions Joe 11. If you are coming up to the Stadium of Light on Saturday, you need to go into the Wheat Sheep pub because there's a good pre-match show on there. Apparently, cracking entertainment. Don't know who he is, but some guy. It's great atmosphere, and it welcomes all the Bolton fans. So check that out. Thanks,
I've heard the DJs are right in Lackaville.
Yeah. Right. Just very quickly, Marianne and Carl Taylor over in Boston, Massachusetts, have joined members there, and says, hi, Twinkle Toes. And the lads, welcome back, Jacob. 3-2 Sunderland win. Thanks, Marianne and Carl, for joining up there. The reference to Twinkle Toes is every time I got the ball on Sunday, my wife, who was filming behind the camera, just called me Twinkle Toes. Not funny, to be honest, at all, really. But you can see it if you watch the highlight package on our channel. So Saturday we played Bolton Wanderers. We're in second place. They are in 8th position. They've had a fairly good start. Thoughts and a prediction from you, I suppose, really. Young Jack?
I mean, it should be a pretty difficult test. Like I say, Bolton, I'm just having a look there. They've played 8, won 3, drawn 3, lost 2. So they're doing okay this season, not too worse off than ourselves. I still back us to win. I'll go for 2-1 win. But no, I think it should be a pretty difficult test. I'm interested to see how we're doing.
Right, fair enough. Jack?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think Bolton, I've checked a few of the results. I think they won 5-2 against Ipswich. They've had a couple of 3-3. So they seem to be, I haven't personally watched Bolton, but you would take off that they play quite open football. They're going to come up here and at least play. They're not going to be a team that are going to sit behind the ball and try and park the bus. They might attack, and that should make for an open game. Obviously, we have to be on our mettle. You know what, we've kept a clean sheet on Tuesday. We haven't kept many in the league this season. I think just the one. So a bit of a threat going forward. But I always prefer teams that come at Sunderland a little bit more. I think teams that come at us and attack us, I think, give us a better chance, particularly the Stadium of Light. And if the atmosphere gets up and it's a bit end-to-end and we can get a goal, then, they're going to come out and, even attack even more. So that should make a nice open game and hopefully plenty of chances. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a test. It always is. I think the bigger and better teams in this league are going to be a test, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm fairly confident as well.
That's good then. We may struggle to score because they've got Declan John in their squad as well, apparently. So
finally get to see him at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah. Jack, did he give us a prediction there?
Yes, 2-1 win. You'd have known if you were listening.
No, I mean Jack. I didn't mean you, Jack. I've got you, Jack.
Yeah, I'm going to go plenty. I'm going to go 3-2. I'm going to be attacking 3-2.
Right. Okay. Jacob, Saturday there, Bolton Wanderers.
Tough game. I think I like the fact that I think they'll go for it on an attacking point of view. I think it will make it a decent game to watch. But their manager Ian Evatt, he was a physical centre half back in the day, so I think he'll want to inject that type of game on Bolton's team as well. And I think they'll look to tighten it up at the back a little bit more and get stuck into us on the set piece side of things. So I think that's an area we do struggle on. So I think we'll concede, but I think we'll come out on top, and I think we'll have too much quality. So 2-1 win, but only just.
Yeah, fair enough. You mentioned Ian Evatt. On good form, really. I mean, he was at Barrow, so I think he brought them up. Then he got Bolton up, didn't he? And so he's looking like a good acquisition for them. Just very quickly, Joe 11, the Bolton fan, says he's been a subscriber for a year now. He loves the show, so thank you very much, Joe, for that. And he also says, if he's honest, they have played well, but this Sunderland team is in form. He thinks Bolton has struggled on Saturday. Tony Lee saying hopefully 33,000 there on Saturday. I think it will. I think it will go into the low 30s. Jacob, have we got a prediction from you?
I said 2-1. Sorry,
mate. All right.
Great minds.
I'm going to go with my 3-1 bet. There. I don't know if it's just me, but atmosphere over the over the home games so far, every now and again, I think there's it goes a bit flat and stuff like that. And I think the fact that the away support's been very poor until now, I'm expecting Bolton to bring quite a few, and I think that'll help towards the atmosphere. And I think the way we're playing, I'm really looking forward to Saturday, and I think, like I said, the atmosphere is going to be cracking as well. So that's something to look forward to. We are 6 likes away from 100 likes, which is what we're trying to get. So if 6 people just want to hit the thumbs up, that would be a massive help for us. Just very quickly, does any of you know? People have said about the fan zone has gone missing. Was you aware that the fan zone is still available there now? Any of you?
I've never really noticed much of it, to be honest. I mean,
right.
Quite late, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
I
would
come in quite late, so by the time I come, it used to be drifting off anyway. To be fair, Phil, there wasn't many in there anyway. By the time I get the ground.
Right. Okay. It's just I've not seen it myself, because where it used to be at the bottom end of the car park near the Stokoe statue down there, and it's just not there anymore. However, I was doing a bit of research before we came on the website, and what I wanted to do was just to mention that on Saturday, the club, in conjunction with the Red and White Army, the supporters group, are hosting a food bank collection on Saturday. So that is going to go to help the Sunderland Soup Kitchen and Sunderland and Durham Food Bank. Now, the collection point for this is at the fan zone at the Beacon of Light. So I'm just assuming that over at the Beacon, maybe in that car park in front of the aquatic centre or something, maybe they've moved the fan zone over there. So anyway, the collection point is going to be open between 12 noon and 3 p.m. If you can take some provisions over, there's certain things they are looking for. They are listed on the club website, all for a brilliant cause. So if you are going over there and you want to help out the food banks, then this Saturday, go to the fan zone at the Beacon of Light, and you can drop some stuff off there, and that will help the club. And like we said, it's in conjunction with the Red and White Army as well. That just about wraps it up, fellas. We are on 106 likes, which makes me happy. Jack, have you enjoyed the show?
Was that Young Jack? Or?
Oh, Young Jack, sorry. Young Jack.
Triple J.
Thoroughly enjoyed the show, Freddie.
Good, that's all right. Jack came on as a guest. Thanks, Jack. Have you enjoyed the show?
Been really good. Been one of the better ones, I think, tonight.
Oh, because normally they're not very good.
I'm not saying that about Terry, by the way, before Terry writes in or anything. You know what I mean? I don't mean anything like that.
Jacob, great show tonight. You enjoyed it?
Very good show. Very good show. Roll on Saturday.
Excellent. Right, a little bit of bad news for you. There will be no live stream of the game this Saturday. We did Tommy, who normally does our home games on the live stream, is actually coming down to Stadium of Light for the game, so we're going to be meeting up with him. So I did phone Jacob up and say, Jacob, you should do a live stream. And Jacob went, no, I'll be in the pub. Oh no, sorry.
I've got Graph, man.
Yeah, right. All right.
Before kickoff.
Yeah, it's got Graph.
It's Graph, man. Graph.
So apologies for that, but we will be back for an edition of the Sunday Bunch from the studio with a special guest as well. We won't tell you. We'll leave you hanging on that one. So from myself, Wee Philly, from Young Jack, say bye.
Bye.
From Jack Shields, say bye.
See you later, lads and lasses.
And Jacob, give him a wave. There you go. We'll see you again on Sunday. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. SAFC have teamed up with our sponsors, OneFootball. This is a superb football app and the only app any football fan will need. You can keep bang up to date with all the latest news coming out of your club. Transfer news when the transfer windows are open, see where you stand in the league. All the league tables are on there. Any information you need regarding football is in the app. You can download it for free via the link in the description. Do it now. And once again, thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV.